Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to the Environment Sustainability Committee meeting number 10 of 2023. All committee members are in attendance again. I'll move to acknowledgement of country. Ipswich City Council respectfully acknowledges the traditional owners as custodians of the land and waters we share. We pay our respects to their elders past, present and emerging as the keepers of the traditions, customs, cultures and stories of proud people. Committee members, are there any declarations of interest in matters on the agenda today? No? We have no business outstanding, so we'll move to confirmation of minutes of the committee meeting number 9 on the 12th of October. Do I have a mover? Thank you, Councillor Kunzman. Seconder? Thank you, Mayor Harding. Is there any discussion from those minutes? No? Then I'll put the motion. Those in favour? Unanimous and carried. Thank you. Item 2 is the First Officer's report, is the status update on the implementation of the recommendations from the 2022 flood review. This is a report providing a status update on the implementation of the recommendations made following the flood review 2022. Does any member of committee wish to ask any questions? Thank you, Mayor Harding. I'll call forward appropriate officer.
Good afternoon all. Matt Pinder, Emergency Management Manager.
Thank you, Mr Pinder. Go ahead, Mayor.
Through the chair. Thank you for this report. I appreciate that it's succinct as well. I really do appreciate that. No, it's really good to see that all the pertinent information. So it's an art. Thank you. Just in asking a question about the permanent flood camera network. How is that going? How many cameras do we have up at the moment?
So we have 10 poles with 11 cameras. So they're still the ones that are hired through a vendor. In July this year, the Queensland Government and the Federal Government announced funding. And we've recently received advice that we'll receive an allocation of $200,000 to replace those with permanent cameras. That will progress as soon as we can confirm that the money's in the bank, so to speak. What is really important though is, and it's been progressed as we speak, is the creation of a policy to ensure that site selection, privacy implications, civil liberties are addressed. And that was being done based off the work that's been done with Safe City and their network.
No, thank you, Mr. Pinder. I know there's been a lot of great feedback from the community on that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Any further questions? No? Thank you, Mr Pinder.
Thank you.
Committee, the recommendation is that the status update on the implementation of the recommendations from the 2022 flood review be received and the contents noted. Do I have a mover? Thank you, Councillor Beckner. Seconder. Thank you, Councillor Kunzman. I open the matter for discussion. Mayor Harding.
If I may, Chair, I want to commend the team. It's the recovery part is always a really tough part. It takes time. And I also know the team are also working on all the preparation for bushfire season. They're out doing get-ready stalls all over the city. Another one, I think, at the Ripley Market's on Saturday afternoon, I think. I have to check. I think from 3 to 8, I think. So I'm just noting that the team are doing a lot of great work there, and I really commend them and thank them for their work.
Absolutely. Review is what assists us to constantly improve on our efforts to deliver for our community. Any further discussion? No? Then I'll put the motion. Those in favour? It's unanimous and carried. Thank you. Item 3 is City of Ipswich EnviroPlan Program and Levy Progress Report 2022 to 2023. This is a report concerning the Ipswich EnviroPlan Program and Levy Progress Report for the 2022 to 2023 financial year. The report is an overview of project delivery, a financial summary including expenditure and revenue, and highlights from the past year. Does any member of committee wish to ask any questions? No? Then the recommendation is that the report concerning the EnviroPlan Annual Progress Report 2022 to 2023 be received and the contents noted. Do I have a mover? Thank you, Councillor Fechner. Seconder. Thank you, Councillor Kunzman. I'll open the matter for discussion.
Thanks, Chair. If I can, through you.
Yes,
I just wanted to put on the record a discussion that I'd like to have as a broader group of councillors and potentially work with you to craft a recommendation B to put it on the briefing and workshop session, even prior to budget. I know that with budgets coming in close to us, but I think that we would potentially need a little bit more time to talk through the Enviro Plan funds as a whole, rather than bundling it into a budget discussion, and it might not have the time allocated to it. And just to foreshadow for the committee's awareness, my reasoning behind this is just to kind of better understand how we can be a little bit more strategic with that money. There are significant monies in reserve there, around that $5 million mark outlined in the report, to see how we can better use that. And I've got a few different questions around the way that we manage our natural areas and the way that we use the Enviro Plan funds to maintain those parcels. But so I just wanted to say that if you would indulge me, I'd like to propose a recommendation B.
Absolutely, go ahead.
That council receive a briefing on the Enviro Plan levy funds, Enviro Plan levy funds at a future briefing and workshop session prior to the conclusion of 2023. CEO, I seek your advice on that. I know that there's not that many of these briefing sessions that we have between now and then. There might be an ability to potentially...
Through the chair, we certainly are well advanced in our thinking, and we have your first workshop, but that is a broader discussion next week. Might have to seek advice from the team. What do you think, acting GM and manager?
I suppose it depends, how much do we want to prep beforehand, or do we want to have a workshop and just work through? So councillor, what are you trying to achieve in essence?
I think for us to be able to come to you with advice on opportunities, could you say no later than February 2024 and leave that with us to work through what we can do 2023,
Yep.
or if not late January into early February?
I'm happy to work with you on that.
That'd be okay?
Yeah, I'm happy to work with you on that.
Is that
Yeah.
okay? If I could suggest
Yes.
no later than February 2024.
Yeah, I'm happy to take the CEO's advice on that.
January possible?
Sorry, me?
Would January be possible? Just-
Would for us, yeah.
I'll leave it at February, noting
Okay.
maybe, I mean, I'll be here, but maybe some of the other councillors won't be back at that point, so, yeah.
We'll do it as a priority, absolutely.
Yeah,
Thank you, Chair.
Councillor Fechner, is the intent to provide that extra information to councillors as part of the budget process?
Absolutely, yeah.
So possibly CEO, the earlier as opposed to the latter would be better, do you think?
And at the risk of getting a bit too conversational here with you, Chair, but happy to have initial, broad strokes discussions around Enviro Plan as part of the initial budget build, and then maybe do a deeper dive come end of January, early February, if that's amenable.
Okay, on that basis, yeah, sure. I shall check with the seconder of the initial motion, Councillor Kunzmann, if you are happy with that amendment. Okay, very good.
Thanks, Chair. I appreciate it.
I'd just like to, as Chair, point out that, yes, absolutely, our community absolutely expects the best strategic use of our funds, and that Enviro Plan funding is so near and dear to everybody in our city that this is definitely the process that should be taken. So thank you, Councillor Fechner, for proposing that. I will, now that there is second part to the motion. Ask again if there's any discussion on that. Mayor Harding.
If I may. Thank you, Chair. I just want to note a few things. We did talk at the last one about bushfire season. I just know that the team here, you can't do fuel reduction burns in summer. It's important that we do during those cooler months, and it's great to see that our council's always done that, and I really appreciate their efforts there. And I also note, obviously, in this here, we talked about for the first time we did a 40 ways, experience nature, 40 ways in 40 days. It was very, very ambitious, very successful.
Very successful.
Yeah, so maybe for 20 ways next time, because it was a really, really big program for the team. And I am loving all the continuing traditions and cultural practices at Harding's Paddock and that area down there. It's really great to see.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mayor. Any further discussion? No? Then I shall put the motion. Those in favour? Unanimous and carried. Thank you. I have no notices of motion. There are no matters arising, so I will close the meeting at 3:58 p.m. And CEO, is that all committee meetings completed for the day? That's it.
That's a wrap.
Good, strong cup of tea is in order.